by Bust 2018. In the crowded streets of Manila, an elite anti-narcotics police unit prepares for a high-risk undercover mission. Rookie officer Nina Manigan, played by Ann Curtis, joins a veteran team tasked with infiltrating a powerful drug syndicate. Their objective is to conduct a controlled-by-bust operation to capture a major supplier. The team enters a dangerous slum controlled by criminal gangs. Initially, the operation goes smoothly, with undercover officers making contact with dealers. However, communication with headquarters suddenly fails. The team realizes they are isolated deep inside hostile territory, surrounded by armed criminals ready to eliminate law enforcement. As the deal progresses, the officers sense something is wrong. The drug lord fails to appear, and instead heavily armed gang members surround the meeting location. The team leader orders immediate retreat, but escape routes are already blocked. A massive gunfight erupts in narrow alleyways filled with civilians. Nina struggles to maintain composure as bullets fly everywhere. Several officers are injured within minutes. The team splits into smaller groups, trying to find exits from the maze-like neighborhood. Radio signals remain jammed, leaving them without backup. The mission changes from arrest operation into desperate survival situation against overwhelming numbers. Nina and two surviving teammates hide inside an abandoned building. They treat wounds using limited medical supplies while planning their next move. Outside, gang members search house to house. The criminals use drones and spotters positioned on rooftops. Nina begins showing leadership skills despite being the newest officer. She suggests moving through drainage tunnels beneath the streets. The group cautiously enters dark underground passages filled with flooding water and debris. While moving, they hear gunfire and explosions above. The realization hits them that other officers are still fighting or dying. The mission now feels like a war zone. Emerging from tunnels, Nina's group reaches a marketplace now turned into a battlefield. Burning vehicles and destroyed stalls create chaos. They encounter another surviving officer who reveals shocking news. Someone leaked the operation details to the syndicate. This betrayal explains why the criminals were fully prepared. Trust becomes fragile among the survivors. They decide to regroup and reach a police extraction point several blocks away. However, criminal snipers control major streets. The officers must move building to building using rooftops and tight corridors. Every step forward risks exposure and death in a neighborhood completely controlled by gangs. As they move through residential apartments, civilians beg for protection. Nina faces moral conflict between completing mission objectives and saving innocent lives trapped in crossfire. She chooses to help evacuate families despite slowing their escape. This decision earns respect from veteran officers who previously doubted her. Meanwhile, gang leaders broadcast messages ordering civilians to reveal police positions. Fear spreads among residents. Some help officers hide, while others betray them to survive. The emotional pressure becomes as dangerous as the gunfire. Nina begins understanding the complex reality of urban crime where survival often forces impossible choices. The team reaches a school building and establishes temporary defensive position. They attempt to repair communication equipment using spare radio parts. During this time, Nina learns more about each teammate's personal life and motivations for joining the force. These conversations humanize the officers beyond uniforms and weapons. Suddenly, gang forces launch coordinated assault using automatic weapons and explosives. The building becomes a battleground. Officers fight classroom to classroom while protecting civilians hiding inside. Though they repel the attack, ammunition supplies run dangerously low. The team realizes they cannot survive another large-scale assault without reaching extraction. Moving at night, Nina's team attempts final push toward extraction zone. Rain begins falling, reducing visibility but also muffling sound. Using darkness as cover, they move silently through back alleys. However, gang patrols still catch them. A brutal close-quarters fight breaks out. Nina is forced to engage in hand-to-hand combat for the first time, showing instinctive survival skill. The violence shocks her but also hardens her resolve. They lose another teammate during the fight. The emotional toll grows heavier, yet stopping now would make every sacrifice meaningless. Nina and remaining officers finally see police armored vehicles approaching the district. Hope rises, but gang leaders launch final massive attack to prevent escape. Rockets and heavy weapons strike surrounding buildings. The officers must cross open street under heavy fire to reach rescue forces. Nina coordinates movement, directing officers and civilians across in waves. Several are wounded but survive. Nina is last to cross, nearly getting hit by sniper fire before being pulled to safety by fellow officer. The surviving team members are exhausted, injured, but alive after surviving impossible odds. After the battle, investigations begin revealing corruption within law enforcement that leaked mission details. The surviving officers testify about what happened inside the slums. Public opinion becomes divided about the war on drugs and police methods. Nina struggles with trauma but refuses to quit the force. She attends funerals of fallen teammates, promising to continue fighting crime while protecting innocent lives. The experience transforms her from rookie into hardened officer, who understands the true cost of duty. She realizes victories are not measured by arrests, but by lives saved during chaos. Months later, Nina returns to active duty with deeper experience and emotional scars. She trains new recruits, teaching them survival, ethics, and teamwork. Though fear still exists, she no longer lets it control her decisions. The city remains dangerous, but officers like Nina continue standing between crime and civilians. The story ends showing her preparing for another mission, symbolizing endless battle against organized crime. The message highlights sacrifice, corruption, and survival inside urban warfare environments. Even in darkest situations, courage and unity can help people endure and protect others from violence.